really give it to y'all. Strength is the army that bands against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind of cancerous. How we breathe vapors, Greek got us blinking in streets like cheap paper. Assemble the masses, melt the plastic, core line, realign when the shit gets drastic. Lift the veil when the system's unmasked. It's just another pyramid scheme, a government racket. Combined with the power of Charles Jurassic, gnashing T-Rex with covert tactics. Rise from the ashes to back the axe. Bring the madness. Capture your image in City Hall. Realize they listen whenever you make a call. If you want a revolution, I really give it to y'all. Strength is the army that bands against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind. The cancerous, how we breathe vapors. Greek got us blinking in streets like cheap paper. There's a pyramid of power with eyes that can see it all. Cameras to capture your image at City Hall. Realize they listen whenever you make a call. If you want a revolution, I really give it to y'all. Strength is the army that bands against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind of cancerous. How we breathe vapors. Greek got us blinking in streets like cheap paper. Assemble the masses, melt the plastic, core line, realign when the shit gets drastic. Lift the veil when the system's unmasked. It's just another pyramid scheme, a government racket. Combined with the power of Charles Jurassic, gnashing T-Rex with covert tactics. Rise from the ashes to back the axe. Bring the madness. Capture your image in City Hall. Realize they listen whenever you make a call. If you want a revolution, I really give it to y'all. Strength is the army that bands against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind. The cancerous, how we breathe vapors. Greek got us blinking in streets like cheap paper.
Everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, you and I. Everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, you and I.
Open hands on the concrete. Feel everything that you built with me. A monument to who you were before we knew a thing about love. I don't want the same as before. I don't wanna settle for the past anymore. I don't wanna fight the same fight, but I do. I don't wanna know what kind of love with you. Come with me, 'cause we're never going back again. We're gonna tear it down inside again. Come with me, 'cause we're never going back again. Come with me, 'cause you're all I need. We're gonna tear it all down, 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 down. To the place that we started. Show me what you love, that you got it. A little piece of who we were before we knew it. I don't wanna seem as before. I don't wanna settle for the past anymore. I don't wanna fight the same fight, but I do. I don't wanna know what kind of love with you. Come with me, 'cause we're never going back again. We're gonna tear it down inside again. Come with me, 'cause we're never going back again. Come with me, 'cause you're all I need. We're gonna tear it all down inside again.
Yes, it's the start again of another stream. Had to make that joke since the song just played, but welcome back to another stream, everybody. Today we got the PC gaming show, and then immediately afterwards we got the future game show, and then after that we got the Gorilla Collective Day 1 showcase, which was actually earlier, but I miscalculated the time zones, and well, yeah, I missed the start by an hour, so I just figured I'll save it till later, especially because it looks like it's still going, and well, obviously this is gonna start pretty shortly, so, and then the other thing is immediately following, so it's like, yeah, I would have had to cut it off early anyway, so. Hopefully everything sounds all good. Of course, they're playing the Witcher thing. Although I love that Magnus says from the game, The Witcher, when I'm pretty sure it was never in the game, it was only in the TV show. Go ahead and ensure the stream quality is up. Well, it says 2020 album debut, like having an album. Yeah, I have no idea what's going to be shown during this specific showcase other than Atlas specifically said they were showing something, and there was leaks on Steam that of a Persona 4 port, so that's confirmed, basically. Who knows what else. Got this very low quality FMV Star Wars scene, apparently. Honestly, this is a pretty good song to end on. It's like a perfect build-up into the intro. Yep, rain pain to them, just like you would expect.
As you guys can see, I'm missing my left eye.
Dang.
There is a community that I am a part of.
Huh.
You're unique. Do you not like anyone else?
Well, this is definitely not something I was expecting.
Good evening, please.
I'm currently in a call with my friend, not responding anymore.
He's breathing really hard. You know he just had a seizure.
I built an arcade in my basement. This is my home.
Yeah, definitely did not see them starting off with a documentary announcement, but
who cares?
I would watch
what
this.
Size you are, what gender you are.
I'm finally done gluing all the details on the sword.
The fans definitely go crazy when they see this card.
It's like one of the most badass things you could drive.
Damn. Okay, so are you jumping straight into a game, or well, obviously not. 'Cause it's the- What the hell is this? Oh my god. Well, I mean, they can't do the big stage show like they did last year, so I guess they got creative and now we got robots. Okay. What the hell?
Three, two, one.
This is the PC Gaming Show. For the next 2 hours, we'll show you new footage and announcements.
Okay, so
for
yeah,
more than
2
40
hours.
games, including the next game from Dean Hall, the creator of DayZ. The
Okay.
world-exclusive debut of gameplay footage for Evil Genius 2. Ruthless combat in Mortal Shell. Everspace 2. Epic battles in A Total War Saga. Troy.
This announcer.
Torchlight 3. What's coming in the next chapter of Elite Dangerous? Mafia Definitive Edition. A look at New World, Amazon's upcoming open world MMO.
Why, hello there, PC Gaming Show. This is Greg Miller, just borrowing your broadcast for a moment to say that later on, I'll be dropping in again to reveal one of my favorite franchises that's coming to PC for the first time ever. If you can name this tune, maybe you'll recognize what it is. See you later in the show.
That kind of funny dropping.
And now your PC Gaming Show hosts, Day9 and Frankie Ward.
Okay.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to the 2020 PC Gaming Show. I am one
This
of your
set, though.
hosts, Day9 Plot, and I'm delighted to have you wherever you may be tuning in, Twitch or YouTube or Twitter. Welcome to our 6th annual event where we have over 2 hours of content. 50 plus games we're going to be looking at in the form of reveals, trailers, interviews that we've recorded in the last several weeks. Before we get into that, though, I want to take a moment to address the ongoing situation in America. While we're glad to be showing you some games today, there are many, many more people fighting for something far, far more important: the struggle against police violence and the systemic oppression of Black Americans. I and everyone who works on the PC Gaming Show each year, we know that Black lives matter, and this is not a fight that we are willing to stand on the sidelines for. So what can we all do? There's a great many organizations that deserve support right now, and one of them is the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund at naacpldf.org. If you want to support this and get some great games in the process, hundreds of developers have joined together at itch.io to create the Bundle for Racial Justice and Equality. It's a pay whatever you want.
Yeah, if you have not bought that bundle, buy it. Not only the charity aspect, but also it's like 2,000 games basically for $5. It's like insane.
List of ways that you can get involved in supporting protesters. That's at pcgamer.com/Black Lives Matter. Okay, we're going to begin the reveals in a moment, but this wouldn't be a PC Gaming Show without my dear friend and co-host Frankie Ward joining us from the other side of the internet. Welcome, Frankie, and why don't you say hello?
Hello, Sean, and hello to everyone
This person from
watching
last year.
around the world. We're really excited to be with you again, and Sean, I've prepared a veritable smorgasbord of PC gaming interviews, trailers, and announcements. This year's show features the most games we've ever presented, so grab your beverage of choice because it's go time.
Thanks, Frankie. And I gotta say, your apartment looks quite a bit more like a music video than mine does. Maybe I should have sprung for better lighting. Either way, it's time for the PC Gaming Show. And as I said earlier, 50+ games. We've been talking to the developers, interviewing them for weeks now. And though it looks kind of empty here, I'm not alone. My beautiful assistant and good buddy DevBot. You may have seen him making his way over here. He is awaiting us. So let's go join him and get the show started. All right, DevBot, what do we have for this year's PC Gaming Show?
I've downloaded 50 game trailers and 10 interviews, Sean, along with a full report of the most secret gaming layer friendly dogs, per your request.
Okay.
Australian Shepherds rank 4th among all dog breeds.
Oh, well, excellent. Well, what should we play first then?
Scanning. Processing. My readings indicate that the audience would like to see Vikings.
Well, that sounds great. Then let's kick it off with Valheim, a Viking survival game where you'll fight monsters, craft weapons, build and sail ships on an open ocean, all while exploring a procedurally generated landscape. Show me the game, DevBot.
Now loading Valheim.
Okay, world exclusive. Stain Studios. I think I've heard that name before, but I don't know what they've made. Well, this definitely looks interesting. Valheim.
The next game has been in the works for quite a while and is just about to come out. I've been following it the whole time, and if a game that features farming, creature collection, dance battles, and bears wearing pants sounds like your cup of tea, then it's time to put the kettle on and enjoy some ooblets.
Oh, this game, yeah. Again, the only reason I know this game is because of the big epic controversy racist thing, yeah.
Sean, I've selected the next game for the PC Gaming Show.
Well, great. What do you got, DevBot?
The game is Torchlight 3, a cherished action
Okay, yeah.
RPG franchise that features...
This already went up to Steam Early Access earlier today.
DevBot, you wouldn't have chosen this game because in Torchlight 3 you can play as a steam-powered robot, would you?
My game selections are entirely objective and determined by an algorithm that shows the audience only what it wants to see.
Show me the algorithm, DevBot.
The algorithm is... proprietary.
Okay, well, let's play the Torchlight 3 trailer, and when we're done, I want to talk to one of the Torchlight 3 devs.
Okay.
In a world of magic and mystery, will you choose fame? Will you choose fortune? Or the future of the frontier? Explore remote, perilous realms. Battle hordes of ancient, powerful enemies. Unite with others to claim your fame and glory. Torchlight 3. Your legend awaits.
Oh, DevBot, please, please connect me with one of those developers.
You got it, Sean.
Joining me today to talk about Torchlight 3.
Those AirPods, though.
Schaefer. Max, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Now, Max, Torchlight 2's story began with the alchemist from the original Torchlight becoming corrupted and evil. How does Torchlight 3's story tie into the first two?
Well, we're in the same world, obviously. We're about a century later now, though, and the Empire.
Century. Wow.
Yes, the Empire is in decline, and they've gotten a little lazy, a little comfortable, and a new threat looms on the horizon. So once again, the adventurers will have to battle the Netherim and all the evil baddies threatening the world.
In terms of the scope and scale of Torchlight 3, how does it compare to the previous editions?
Well, we've expanded quite a bit. Now, first, anyone who's played Torchlight 1 and Torchlight 2 will be comfortable with the mechanics and how to play it and all. But we've expanded and let players...
Honestly, I'm kind of interested in playing this game now, considering after playing Minecraft Dungeons, and this is a very similar style game.
You can build things in, you can do things that
and the setting of this seems a lot more interesting to me versus like
and other players
Diablo.
For it randomly out in the world.
I want to ask a little bit about the classes, because if you're an action RPG player, you may recognize something like a knight or a mage. But in Torchlight 3, we got the steam-powered robots. We have the rail master that can summon trains. Talk to me about not just what some of the classes that players can expect are, but how you even come up with this glorious stuff.
Well, I think that you know, we've always wanted to avoid going like right down Main Street with our character classes and try to do something interesting. But at the same time, we wanted you to be able to look at them and get a sense and get a kind of an intuitive sense of what they do. And so we've applied that here. We've got some really fun characters, like you said, the fully robotic, steam-powered robot, and a guy that summons trains. But we've also got some other cool classes too: a sharpshooter and a dusk mage. And you know, honestly, they all have new twists, and they're all pretty fun to play.
In terms of the game world itself, how like specifically do the forts get integrated? Like, what does it mean to stumble across someone else's fort as you're going through the world?
Well, between our gameplay levels, we have passages, and when you enter the passage, there will often be a waypoint there, but there will also be someone else's fort. So you will see some random person from the world's fort, and they will in turn see occasionally randomly your own fort. And it's definitely worth exploring their fort, because you can not only use things like the luck tree, but you can use their enchanting table and whatever recipes they've unlocked to enchant your own items. So it's really worthwhile for you to go check them out.
Now, pets were a big part of the earlier Torchlight games. What type of pet-based entertainment can we expect?
We have expanded upon the pet system. It does all the things you want. It fights alongside you.
The doggos.
Goes and takes your items back to town to sell. But we've introduced kind of a collection mechanic. So you can find pets out in the wild by defeating bosses and make a whole stable of pets that you, of course...
Okay, so basically, it's it's
Now,
Pokemon
Max, we know that
and
the
Diablo
Torchlight
now.
series has an enormous fan base. For those who are looking to get their hands on Torchlight 3, where can they go and when can they play it?
Well, I'm very, very happy to announce that we are available on Steam right now in early access for $29.99.
Shower drop.
It's available right this minute.
This is the best kind of answer in the PC Gaming Show. You can get it now. Once again, Max Schaefer from the Torchlight 3 team, thank you so much for joining us. Once again,
I was about to say the name sounded familiar, but then it's like Schaefer. I'm thinking Tim Schafer, like from Double Fine.
Just getting started here on the PC Gaming Show. Let's take a look at what's coming up next.
You're watching the PC Gaming Show. Coming up later, an exclusive look at the next game from DayZ creator Dean Hall, Blanco's Block Party, the first reveal of Sound Mind, and more. Back to you, Sean. Back to you, Sean.
Well, hey everyone.
Oh,
I hope you're having a
that
great
was
time.
interesting.
I know I am, and I know you want to tell me how much fun you're having, but don't shout. The walls are very thick in here. I can see you though if you use the PC Gaming Show hashtag on Twitter or Facebook or the PC Gamer forums or a Ouija board or a Messenger Falcon, whatever is your desired form of communication. I'm sure you've been seeing many of those comments show up live in the show today. And we want your hottest 280 character take that our merry moderators might just select to be on the show. For our next segment, it's time to head on over to Frankie Ward.
Elite Dangerous, the space simulation MMO from Frontier, has continued
Okay,
to evolve
so now
over the past
Elite
5
Dangerous
years.
news.
Set in a one-to-one recreation of our actual Milky Way galaxy, players forge their own path, build and break alliances, trade, fight, and earn the rank of Elite. Join us as we journey into the next era of Elite Dangerous, set to take a giant leap once more.
Odyssey. Okay,
Joining me to talk about the next chapter of Elite Dangerous is Piers Jackson from Frontier Developments. Thanks so much for joining us, Piers.
Oh, you're welcome. It's good to be here.
Now, I have a lot of questions about the trailer we just saw, but I'm wondering if you can contextualize a little bit for those who haven't played Elite Dangerous. What is it?
So I think the best way of explaining what Elite Dangerous is to understand how big it is. We have created a title that's the most complete, authentic space simulation of any game out there, and it's just vast. It's the whole galaxy. You can explore it. You can take your own path. You can be a pilot, a trader, a bounty hunter. You can do what you want. You can go where you want, and you can do your own thing. And it's that sort of freedom and the ability.
Yeah, I know basically none about this game other than I think I saw a tiny little bit of a stream by the show and Z playing it.
For Elite Dangerous, there's a lot of gameplay that happens in ships. There's a lot of focus on the economy and trading. In this trailer, though, we saw feet on the ground, which immediately makes me ask, what is it that we should expect? What should we glean from the trailer?
Oh, I think you've hit a nail on the head. Ultimately, the big new feature that we're looking to release here is the fact that you can now, for the very first time, set foot on our planets. We've created the last edition, really, in terms of going from space all the way down to the planet's surface. So now you can set foot, you can explore, you can interact with the environment. And we've taken the mission-based gameplay and the idea of forging your own path and creating your own experience that the space game has, and we've transposed that right down onto the planet. For the first time, you'll be able to access a whole pile of new planets, all ones with tenuous atmospheres, and obviously you're going to be able to play this in multiplayer, so you'll be able to join up with your friends. You can experience the game from the ship, from an SRV, and finally from on foot.
In what way will this ground, walking on the planet component transform the existing aspects of Elite Dangerous?
I think it gives people a new set of experiences to have. We link all the way from ground to the buggies, the SRVs, all the way up to the spaceships, so that it becomes a holistic event. The design actually encapsulates the whole experience.
In terms of some of the other systems that are on the planets, or various resources or points of interest, what are some of those that might tie back to some of the gameplay that someone would be familiar with?
So we have new planets that you can visit. You can visit old planets, and we have refreshed the visuals on them, so you can really set foot and be the first to actually make footfall on a new planet.
Now, Piers, I have a combo question for you. Elite Dangerous is available right now. Where can players go to play Elite Dangerous, and when can they expect the Odyssey update?
So you can join in with our community now, playing Elite Dangerous. Download it via Steam, or go to the Frontiers store, or purchase it on console. We have many people playing it. In terms of Odyssey, you can expect to see that next year.
I hope you all enjoyed that conversation about Elite Dangerous. It's a treat to see the way the game is continuing to evolve. For our next title, we're going to be...
Sean, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh god.
Is being hijacked by another host.
Okay, here's Greg Miller.
Hi there again, PC gamers. It's me, Greg Miller. Maybe you saw me host the Guerrilla Collective live stream earlier today. No, I didn't watch. Okay, well, that sucks. I'll give the PC Gaming Show back to its usual host in a moment, but I couldn't let anyone else announce this next trailer, which is a game near and dear to my heart. Let's take a look.
Every day, young life, juice.
The Persona port. And of course he's the one to announce it because he's the PS Vita guy, and that was like the biggest reason to have a Vita.
If you haven't played this, now you have no excuse. Persona 4 Golden is a masterpiece, ladies and gentlemen. The story, the action, the characters, this is something you have to go get right now. It's been awesome to see Atlas Games make their way onto the PC. I'm glad this one is finally here. Anyway, I better hand the show back over to Sean before he gets mad at me. See you later, PC gamers.
Well, that was weird. I thought this live stream was supposed to be secure.
I'm analyzing the security breach now, Sean. I'm not sure what could have...
Oh god.
Well, all right then. While we get this sorted out, let's head on over to Frankie.
Our next trailer reveals an all-new psychological horror game coming to PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X early next year. InSound Mind will challenge your expectations as it ushers you through the deepest corners of your psyche. It sounds like every night before I go to sleep, honestly. The game also features a chilling original soundtrack by The Living Tombstone. Courtesy of indie outfit We Create Stuff and publisher Modus Games, let's take a look at InSound Mind.
Okay. But Living Tombstone in a game, that's kind of cool.
They say fear is just a state of mind. A locked door that traps you inside it. But
oh god, this slaps.
your terror, fear will no longer...
Living Tombstone makes some amazing music, so
What a bunch
kinda cool though, they gotta sign up to a game soundtrack. Definitely not a game I would play though, but definitely might be one of those where I have the soundtrack and I've never played it. In Sound Mind. Huh. Demo now. Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Ido, producer at Recreate Stuff.
Hey, I'm Gen, creative director.
Hey, Tombstone here. We're the developers who brought you Nightmare House 2, and now we're back. We've partnered with Modus Games and The Living Tombstone, and we're working on a new indie horror game, In Sound Mind.
Demo is now out on Steam. Let us know what you think.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So hey DevBot, how did you get here today anyways?
Well, Sean, my sleep state was interrupted when I realized I was late to this year's PC gaming show. So naturally, I panicked. I had to improvise about how to reach our undisclosed broadcasting location before you began the show. I tried some back roads in the desert. I am not an all-terrain vehicle, it was discovered. I tried to hitchhike. But ever since the 1991 documentary Terminator 2, no one in Los Angeles trusts robots. At that point, I was already right outside our secret location.
Cool. Hey, let's take a look at our next trailer.
Airborne Kingdom, loading.
Okay, some plane thing. This stuff looks interesting. Like floating cities. Okay. Urban Kingdom. Okay.
You might be surprised to know that I enjoy real-time strategy games, and that's why I'm excited for our next trailer. It's Dwarfheim, a cooperative RTS, where up to 3 players can split up the work of building, mining, and fighting, working together to build defenses, machinery, and traps, train armies to fend off deadly trolls and rival clans. The Dwarfheim demo is live right now on Steam. Let's see what the game is all about.
Ever since the fall, dwarven clans live scattered across Agartha. They toil every day in the dark and dirt. They try to protect what little they have from rival clans and the vile creatures that roam these lands. Your clan needs you now, chieftains, to lead your people.
Yeah, strategy game, not really interested, but got all the Scottish accent.
Miners to expand your kingdom. Or take up arms with your warriors to protect our town halls and conquer your enemies. Bring us to victory! Bring us to Dwarfheim!
Oh, merge.
Thanks, Sean. And now let's take a look at the lineup of games and game updates coming from indie publisher New Blood Interactive.
Oh, damn. Yeah, this was shown at the event the other day. Oh, this soundtrack though. Unfortunate Spaceman. Yeah, it's the same Ultra Kill game that we saw the other day, so yeah. Yeah. Oh, I knew about that game, of course. Same thing that they showed a couple days ago on stream, but yeah.
That's quite a lineup from New Blood, and with us now is the New Blood CEO, Dave Oshry, to talk about it. Dave, what the hell was that all about?
Yeah, so we got a lot going on, right? I mean, some guys come out here, they show like some cinematic trailer and then tell you it's coming out in a year. We got 6 games and you can play all of them
right now.
We couldn't afford to do a cinematic trailer if we wanted to, right? So yeah, Dusk, now with mods, check them out at duskmods.com. There's all kinds of crazy a Medieval, now with RTX. DLSS 2.0 is coming. Maximum Action, new levels are coming, new features, new guns. Unfortunate Spaceman is now completely free to play. It, why not? Check that one out. 16-player co-op. It's crazy. It's like The Thing in space. Faith, of course. If you don't know about Faith,
now you know.
Ultra Kill, our new retro shooter with style. If you like games like Devil May Cry and Quake.
Oh my god, I love this guy.
And then of course Gloomwood. If you like games like Thief, System Shock, Resident Evil, then I think Gloomwood is definitely the game for you.
Where can we go to learn more?
So you can check out Dusk at notfortnite.com, a Medieval at I can't believe it's not Hexen.com, Maximum Action at shootyboom.com, Unfortunate Spaceman at deaderspace.com, that's deaderspace.com, Faith at garylovesyou.com.
Oh my god, the sites actually work.
And then of course Gloomwood at thiefwithguns.com. Yeah, that's all we got. 6 games, you can play them all right now. We love you.
And we hate money.
Thanks, Dave. Let's see what Frankie has for us next.
God, I can't believe the leaks actually fucking work.
Now tell me, PC gamers, have you ever wanted to rewrite history? Not your browser history, that's easy and absolutely vital, but how about something
Oh my
random,
god,
like
that was great. Just the fake websites.
Or inventing the computer a couple of hundred years earlier. Humankind is an upcoming historical strategy game.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Up to 60 different cultures to create a
This is by Sega, I think.
As you are. And as with all of their previous titles, Amplitude is asking the community to participate in the development of Humankind to help make it the best game that it can be. Let's see how they're inviting PC gamers to help build this worldly game.
But yeah, this was shown at the Game Awards. And this remix, though. Got this like freaking disco remix.
Well, you heard the trailer. You need to go to opendev.gamestogether.com so you can be one of the very first humans to get your hands on Humankind, Amplitude Studios' upcoming historical strategy game. And now for something a little different, don't you join me in my chambers? Come on. Come on.
Okay.
Of all the subcultures and communities that make up PC gaming, modders have arguably had the biggest impact.
Modding.
My next guest is Dean Hall, a designer who started out as a modder and eventually helped lay the foundation for two of the most popular genres on PC, survival and battle royale. Let's take a look at the next game from Rocketworks revealed here on the PC Gaming Show. It's Icarus.
Icarus, okay. The axe motion. Who swings an axe like that? Okay then.
Joining me to talk about Icarus is Dean Hall. Dean, thanks so much for joining us.
Awesome, it's great to be here.
This guy got the good background.
Survival-focused game. What makes Icarus different from other survival titles?
Well, I think if you think about your first hour in DayZ, your first hour in Minecraft, really what we're trying to do is capture that and then basically build a game where you can do that over a long period of time and you can progress through the survival experience. So it was really getting back to the roots of what a survival game is and what makes those moments that you get in them really intense and emotional.
If you can just walk me through like the basic loop. If I just open up the game, do I start out on the ship itself?
If you think about the orbital station as your apartment in GTA, you can invite your friends in and prepare for what we call a drop. And then you select a prospect. And the big challenge of the game, and the way to fail it, I guess, is to run out of time on the drop.
Let's say I'm on a 30-minute mission. I have a particular resource I've set out to snatch up. How does the gameplay of that 30-minute period differ from other survival games?
I suppose there were three key things that I felt needed to be addressed before I made another survival game. The first was the ability to scale. By breaking your experience over months and years into sessions, that allows us to address scale. So you still can do all the things that you do in a normal survival game, building bridges, roads, all those kinds of things. But you're doing it with a medium-term focus. The second was pacing and clear direction, which is helped very much by the structure that we're putting around the session. And the last one is really focusing in on those core survival mechanics, which I really feel is the whole reason that survival as a genre connects so emotionally with players.
I guess I was a little surprised to hear that there are 20-minute drops as well as multi-day drops. What are the sort of time ranges we're looking at? Are there different like categories and tiers of drop length?
Yeah, so it really depends on your level as you progress through the game. So early on, we're really just introducing you to more safe environments. So say a daytime drop that only lasts 20 minutes. You're only going to be facing the game during the day. As you progress,
this is interesting.
You can take on and get access to
So
prospects.
at first it sounded like another survival game, but it sounds kind of like now they're basically saying like,
windows, but that means you're getting a cycle.
like you're actually taking multiple days, real time, to do these different tasks.
Ask a little bit about what failure means in Icarus. I mean, in the trailer there was someone that fell down, and you just ominously talked about the dangers of being left behind on the planet. What happens if you don't make it back to the ship in time, die on the planet? What happens?
If you think about DayZ, when you get shot, it's a very binary event that happens and there's nothing you can do, it's just over. And there's a certain charm to that.
Everything's gone.
Yeah, there's a certain charm to that. But I think if we look about...
charm. I like your use of the word charm there, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, like, there definitely is. But I think with Icarus, we've chosen one failure state. If you run out of time on your drop, that character and all its equipment is gone.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make that terrifying. And that's why our tagline is, there are worse fates than death. So it's getting left behind. If you miss your rendezvous window with the orbital station, then that's it. Everything that you've deployed on there, your character and all that progression of that character and all that equipment is just gone. And that's our one failure state. If you run out of oxygen, someone can come and revive you. If you get attacked by this particular animal and damaged, someone can heal you. But if you run out of time, it's over.
I'm curious, I mean, there's so many elements. There's so much ambition. I know there's a lot of PC gamers that maybe feel like you abandoned DayZ, other projects. What do you have to reassure those people that you're committed to Icarus?
Well, I think a big thing for me is you know, Bohemia was an existing company and I definitely felt like I was pulling them in a direction that was hard for them to go. And they probably felt like they were pulling me in a direction that I didn't want to go. And it's really been a bit of a struggle for me to develop and not only the studio, but myself as well. There was a whole bunch of things I had to learn. I had to learn many of those things through failure.
This is definitely intriguing.
It was to make sure it wasn't just a Dean Hall game, but it was a game built by incredibly skilled people. And we managed to assemble, I think, definitely one of the best teams I've ever worked with, an exceptional concept team through to a technical and production team as well.
Well, I know there's a ton of people that are interested in my very next question, my favorite question. When can people get the opportunity to play Icarus?
That is a good question. So we're looking at sometime next year. Our development is very advanced at this point. Our biggest question really is content. So, you know, we're making the game free to play because we wanted to maximize the number of people that play it. And we're acutely aware a number of our former staff are ex-Grinding Gear Games who made Path of Exile, very talented in the free-to-play area. So we're very cognizant of how much content we need to provide gamers. So at the moment, we're really sort of heading into that.
Well, Dean, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Awesome.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Dean Hall from Rocket Works for the upcoming survival game Icarus. For our next game, let's head to Frankie.
When you're an evil supervillain, it's important to have your own sense of style.
Hey, got it, buddy.
What? Evil Cat Psychics are so 2019. Evil Genius 2 asks players the question, how would you design a supervillain fortress? Would you build a pool filled with laser sharks, or would you just give all the home appliances RGB lighting? Here's the world-exclusive first gameplay footage of Evil Genius 2, World Domination.
Okay, Evil Genius stuff now. That's sure a way to climb out of the building, I guess. Yeah. Most of the graphics on this are not that great. Looks like a shitty mobile game.
We are about to see the first official gameplay footage for Godfall on PC. Counterplay Games is going to give us a guided tour of the battle for Aperion, and keen observers will notice that this is running in Unreal Engine 5. That's why those shiny sets of armor look oh so gorgeous. You can go on over to the Epic Games Store and wishlist it now, or get more information on Godfall before it releases this holiday season. But for now, let's take a look.
Hello, my name is Keith Lee, and I am the game director for Godfall. On behalf of Counterplay Games, we are very excited to share gameplay with you today, and to offer you a glimpse into the mystical world of Godfall. Please enjoy. Godfall is still in development, so some things will change and improve in the final product, including visuals and performance. Godfall is set in a brand new high fantasy universe filled with heroic knights, arcane magic, and forbidden realms. The world is split up into the elemental realms of earth, water, air, and fire. You play a Valorian knight, a godlike warrior able to equip valor plates, legendary armor sets that transform you into unstoppable masters of melee combat.
That's interesting. They said UE5, and like UE5 isn't supposed to be released until next year, and they said, and Godfall is releasing this year. And they said there would be like a beta version or before the end of the year, but like they're not going to release a final game on a beta version, are they?
First, our team wanted to do something different. We wanted to combine action RPG loot progression with third-person melee combat to create what we think is a whole new genre, the looter slasher. Our game is therefore one part gear-driven and one part player skill-driven. In other words, not only do we want you to find exquisite weapons with powerful loot traits, but we also want you to have that feeling of accomplishment for mastering the wide set of combat mechanics available to you in Godfall. What you're looking at now is a mid-boss fight, a tougher challenge which we'll have to leave for another day. Please check out the Godfall channels on Twitter, Facebook.
So this PC gaming show, but they did decide to still put the PS5 logo.
Godfall, and we'll be showing you more soon.
Now next up, when PC gamers think of iconic first-person shooters, they think of games like Doom, Quake, and Duke Nukem. Our next trailer shows a project that celebrates the proud heritage of sci-fi FPSs while taking advantage of some very modern visual effects. Like glorious enemy dismemberment. From Bounding Box Software and Humble Publishing, this
Humble
is Proteus.
I thought they said Humble Publishing because it's Humble Games now. They just changed the name. So we have two separate games with retro Doom style art, but with modern lighting mechanics. Kind of interesting, other than the same stream. Also, okay, Fate Tactics. Oh. Yeah, definitely not a big strategy tactics person, but art style is pretty good. And our humble game.
I love the look of that last one. Fate Tactics is set to scratch that isometric combat itch that I know a lot of us have been feeling ever since we played Final Fantasy Tactics back in the 90s. All right, but we're not done with humble games yet. Their lineup
okay, more humbles.
Not that humble. We're going to take a look at 2 more games from them. Project Wingman, a jet fighter game featuring RPG elements and VR support. And rounding things out is Carto from Sunhead Games, a gorgeous top-down puzzler. Let's take a look.
This definitely has an interesting art style. Okay.
Good work, Hitman team. Return to base.
Hey Davbot, have you ever wondered what Gordon Freeman's voicemail message sounds like?
Oh God.
Sean, that is an intriguing inquiry. However, something is wrong. I'm receiving an external transmission.
Why does this keep happening, DevBot? What's with the security? Have you upgraded to Service Pack 2 yet?
The transmission is coming from a powerful space satellite.
Service Pack 2.
Greetings, PC Gaming Show. It is I, your supreme leader, Kane. I am commandeering this broadcast to deliver an important mission briefing. You must capture the GDI base marked at these coordinates. This is a strategically significant I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It's me, Joe Coogan. And I can take over this broadcast because I do what I want. Look, you know Command & Conquer has been a major
God damn it.
It's certainly been a big part of mine. The Command & Conquer Remastered Collection recently launched for PC, and it is an awesome way to relive this classic game with a bunch of new bells and whistles. I mean, who doesn't like 4K graphics, quick matches in multiplayer, or modding, am I right? I personally want to send a big shout out to all you PC gamers who have kept the legacy of Kane alive over these last 25 years. I mean, I live in death, I guess. Thanks for interrupting,
Kane.
and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show. For the glory of
God,
God!
they did fix their damn security.
Tell me, PC gamers, do you have any rare action figures? Perhaps you're one of the lucky owners of an out-of-print collectible, something you'd never trade away in a million years. Our next game is a celebration of toys and art. On its surface, a game about collecting, customizing, and trading, but it's also a highly social playground for creativity, one where you can make your own levels and gather with your friends to hang out, play mini-games, and create together. This is Blanco's Block Party.
Legend tells of a place where everyone comes together to play and dance and
Okay, well,
race,
this looks interesting.
shoot and jump and fly with jetpacks or maybe bat wings. And there's lava and a mountain made of junk food where you can create your own worlds and have your own adventures where you are in charge. Where you can make your very own games with your very own rules. And all your friends can come and play. Like this one here. Yep, them too. And I don't know what that dude is, but he is cool.
God, this looks stupid.
Toys come to life, and I can actually play with them and own them all. That's sweet. But you see, this place isn't a legend.
What the hell?
It's a party.
Here to bring us the inside look at Blanco's Block Party is Jamie Jackson from Mythical. Jamie, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
I would love if you could just address what is Blancos?
Blancos it's a game about vinyl toys kind of coming to life and where they go when a human leaves the room. But it's also more than just a game. It's a place for content creators and gamers and collectors to come together and hang out and build the worlds and games that they really want to play in. And you can have as many of your friends come and hang out with you as you want. But you could also drop the toys in. So the first toy you can play with is one called it's a shooting mechanic. We got like a unicorn rocket launcher that fires ice creams. We got like a cactus grenade launcher that fires these little cactus balls. So it's all about kind of like arcade fun shooter stuff. And you can set that up as a team shooter. You could have squads. You can do a bunch of stuff with it. You can even just have it free for all. Some other stuff we're going to be dropping is race toys. So you could just do point to point. You could build this super sweet like platformer and just go A to B. You could do laps. And then another one is, because Blancos, they all survive on good vibes. That's kind of what powers them. So another one you can do is actually just a vibe collection. And what's kind of super cool is all of those toys work with each other. So you could build a race and then you could drop some guns in it and it can be a race, but you can pick up guns on the way and try and knock each other out.
So you have these huge flexible tools, this community focus. We've also seen in games like Fortnite, these in-game events. Are these kinds of things that you think will show up in Blancos as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we felt that from the beginning of development, that Blancos wasn't just this place for players to go and build and create their own worlds, but it was a place for us to be able to share with them different content, whether that's a music concert, whether it's a movie trailer, you know, whether it's something no one's seen yet. But absolutely, that we're definitely thinking about that kind of stuff.
Well, talk to me about the number of different designs. Like, where are these designs coming from? How many are there?
We're not talking about numbers in season one just yet, but we are talking about the artists. So we're really stoked we've been able to work with some of my favorites that I've been buying the vinyl toys of over the years. So John Paul Kaiser is a great artist from the UK. I ended up buying some of his toys in New York about 6 years ago, and now we get to work together and bring his toys to life in the game, which has been great fun. James Groman, who I think just kind of really epitomizes vinyl toy design, just those clean vector-based lines. And one of my personal favorites is Pete Fowler, who for me was kind of one of the grandfathers of vinyl toy design.
I know people are going to want more information. They're going to want to know when they can play Blancos, when they can see more. Where do they go for that?
If you want to keep just up to date with things, go and check out blancos.com. You can register there right now, so you can, you know, secure your account name and get ready for launch. We're going to be launching end of the year, so not too far away now, but we're also going to be starting to look for our beta at some point soon as well. So if you get registered, we might be able to get you in that.
Jamie from Mythical, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Once again, the name of the game is Blancos Block Party. Let's take a look at what's coming up next at this year's PC Gaming Show.
You're watching the PC Gaming Show, presented by
Okay, what we got coming up?
Stay tuned for more trailers, announcements, and footage. Coming up later, we celebrate the 20th anniversary of A Total War. What's next in Escape from Tarkov? The reveal of horror strategy game Rogue Lords, and more. Back to you, Frankie.
The PC is the birthplace of space flight action games, and our next project, Everspace 2, expands on that tradition with its gorgeous handcrafted universe. The focus here is on exploration and dogfighting, with alien species standing in the way of outfitting your ship with unique modules, weapons, and devices. And, as we're about to see in this next trailer, combat won't just take place in the cold vacuum of space, but also the atmospheres of planets themselves. Here's Everspace 2.
It's aerospace. Huh. Okay. What the fuck?
PC gamers, I'm sure you'll agree. If a horse shows up at your door and you don't remember ordering a horse, it's probably best to keep the door shut. One of the coolest things about a Total War Saga Troy, the next game from Creative Assembly, is that it will enable players to experience multiple different versions of how the iconic battle went down, including several explanations for what that mythical horse actually was. I'll get the door while you watch the latest trailer.
Oh my god. What are we gonna do now with the door?
16.
Oh, Sega.
Silver-tongued Odysseus. There is only one response to Queen Helen's abduction, and that is war.
In Total War Saga Troy, you can rewrite the events of one of the greatest conflicts ever.
I could care less about Total War.
As Odysseus besieged the legendary city of Troy in 3 ingenious and equally devastating ways, all based around prominent theories from throughout the ages as to what the iconic Trojan horse really resembled.
The walls of this city may appear to be mighty, but no defenses are impregnable.
Using gargantuan siege towers, take the fight to the walls. Slaughter the Trojans atop and force them back into their pitiful city.
The enemy are unaware of your presence. Position your troops to retain your advantage once the attack begins.
Sneak troops into the city in a vast, horse-headed vessel fit for the gods. Under the cloak of darkness, use guerrilla tactics to sabotage the unbreachable city gates, leaving the Trojan warriors defenseless, allowing the Achaean soldiers to begin razing the city to the ground.
Their walls have been breached.
Even the greatest defenses cannot stand against nature's might. In a land ravaged by earthquakes, patience is rewarded. Send your troops forward. Troy is yours for the taking. Myth meets history in a war that will define the ages. Experience the legend of Troy this summer.
Victory will make you immortal.
That was a Total War Saga Troy, which we'll get to play in 2021. And hey, speaking of sneaking in big surprises, a master of segue. This year, we've teamed up with Intel to build a legendary custom computer inspired by art, weaponry, and the artifacts found in the game. DevBot, I understand you know your way around a computer, right?
Affirmative. Sean, I have a soft spot for Bronze Age computers.
Well, great. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit more?
Can do, Sean. Behold, PC gamers. This build is centered around Intel's CPU, the 10th gen Core i9-10900K processor. This 10-core flagship CPU is built for maximum gaming performance and overclocking, especially useful in epic strategy games like A Total War Saga Troy. The build also features a top-of-the-line GeForce RTX 2080 Ti. Also on the ASUS motherboard are a spacious 4 terabytes of fast storage and 128 gigabytes.
Should have been a Ryzen build.
The unit is powered by a platinum-certified Corsair 1200-watt power supply, and temperatures are kept at a nominal level thanks to 9 RGB fans running alongside liquid cooling. The copper tubing is not only effective at heat conduction, but, according to my readings, aesthetically pleasing. Is this what you humans call love?
PCs are more than specs, they're a passion. When we build a PC, we form a relationship with that piece of hardware. We wanted to show you every step of that process. For this build, we enlisted a master craftsman, Brian Carter, a PC modder with over a decade and a half of experience. PC Gamer and Intel have created a 4-part series following Brian as he created this epic artifact. DevBot, cue it up!
Hey, my name is Brian Carter, and I've been building custom PC mods for over 16 years. I'm working with Intel and A Total War Saga Troy on a very special custom PC project that we're thrilled to debut at the PC Gaming Show. Join me in a 4-part video series as I take you through each stage of the scratch build process. We begin with the inspiration and design phase, where we figure out how to take the amazing design assets from A Total
Totally wanted to see a build guide during a game showcase, right?
Components, like the 10th gen Intel Core i9-10900K processor. Then I'll show you how I assemble, finish, and test this one-of-a-kind PC. A big thank you to Intel and Creative Assembly for letting me work on this incredibly fun and challenging project. I hope you like it.
Oh, it looks so good. And I have some good news. Episode 1 is available now, and I have even better news. You can win this PC from DevBot's loving clutches. Head on over to PCGamer.com/IntelPC to learn more and enter for a chance to win.
That's my favorite.
And with that, it's time to return to more PC Gaming Show action with the fantastic Frankie.
Last year, Remnant from the Ashes challenged gamers to take on monstrous creatures in a post-apocalyptic world. Today, we're excited to announce the biggest update yet for the game, upcoming DLC that will conclude this thrilling saga. The fate of humankind is at stake. It's time to bring an end to the root once and for all. This is the world reveal of Remnant from the Ashes, Subject 2923, available August 20th on PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
They say hope is what makes us human. Hope also
apparently my bitrate died. Okay.
But the root have another gate somewhere. Another hole we have to plug in our sinking civilization. Maybe the root's not the only thing we need to worry about.
The new Remnant from the Ashes content looks fantastic. And you know what else is fantastic? Hearing the opinions of strangers from the internet. Nothing makes my day as much as hearing what's inside your mind. So please use hashtag PC Gaming Show on whatever your platform of preference may be, and you just might have your comment show up live on the show. Now for our next title, we have to look at classic remasters. Capcom has been updating the original Resident Evil games, and in the same vein, 2K is now updating Mafia. The original Mafia trilogy is getting a full definitive edition remaster, with the original game, the 2002 Mafia, getting a full ground-up remake with 4K support. We got a brand new trailer for you, so let's take a look at Lost Heaven 2 decades later.
Hey, Tommy. Detective Norman. How long you been in town? 3 years. They handed you the Morello case. Right out of the gate. That's what the paper says, ain't it? And what's it to you? Case must be getting pretty cold by now. Or you got something might warm it up? Yeah, I might have something.
What do they call you, son?
Thomas. Thomas Angelo, sir.
Okay. Suddenly host. Oh yeah, because my stream probably blipped a bit, or wait.
Man, Dev
oh wait, those two didn't auto-host before.
I gotta know, do you have any contacts in the Mafia?
Sean, I have left that life behind me. I'm programmed not to form relationships with organized crime. However, I can call one of the developers of Mafia Definitive Edition.
Well, fantastic. Let's ring up DevBot. Joining me to talk about Mafia is the president and CCO of Hangar 13. It is Hayden Blackman. Hayden, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So for people who haven't played the original Mafia, which is a 2002 release, talk to us about this game.
Mafia, the Definitive Edition, is a complete ground-up remake of Mafia from 2002, which is a seminal game that really launched the Mafia franchise. And in Mafia, you take on the role of Tommy Angelo, who is a cab driver that falls in with the mob during the 1930s, actually during the height of Prohibition, in a city called Lost Heaven, which is loosely based on Chicago. And as a member of the Salieri crime family, he really gets embroiled in a war with the Morello crime family, and we kind of explore that story and Tommy's evolution from cab driver to respected member of the Mafia.
I feel like in the last 10 years we've seen HD editions, remasters that are more graphical updates, but my understanding is that this is far more than just a new coat of paint on a game from 2002. Talk to me about what a remake means.
Everything was rebuilt, so every asset, every cinematic was reshot, and all the gameplay was completely redone. Now, we've kept all the same big beats from the original game. The story is the same for the most part. All the big plot points are there.
For the most part.
Are there and represented. But again, everything was completely rebuilt from the ground up, in order to kind of meet the expectations of today's gamers and take advantage of today's technology.
The location in pretty much every open world game is a central character. In 2002, we have seen a ton of gameplay changes between then and now.
Story's the same for the most part. I wonder what they changed.
Open world setting, maybe some of the new mechanics that players
can. I don't know the original game, so I wouldn't know. But
ways. You know, one, we looked at how populated can we make it, and we took some of the kind of world interactions and some of the things that we did with crowds and non-player characters and other kind of city life from Mafia 3 and put them into Mafia the Definitive Edition. But we also looked at, are there ways for us to kind of redesign the city so it's more fun to drive around? You know, do we need to widen the streets? Do we need to make sure that there's not as many 90-degree turns so that you can kind of coast around corners? And as we capture the feel of the vehicles, are there things that we want to do to make sure that the roads have grip or they're slick in the rain? And so that I think brought a lot of life to it as well, because most of the way that you engage with the city is through driving.
I mean, speaking of rebuilding things from the ground up, I gotta ask you about the cinematics. I mean, they looked gorgeous in the trailer. Yeah. And I mean, what was the process of rebuilding all of those cinematics?
For us, it was really, how do we recreate these, again, taking advantage of some of the cutting edge stuff that we've been doing at Hangar 13. So, we have, really great facial scanning and likeness capture technology, a state-of-the-art mocap facility. So we really wanted to take advantage of that for the definitive edition. So we did go in and we rewrote all the cinematics again to add some of that language and add some of that character development and maybe some of that clarity that we were going for without losing the essence of each moment.
Well, now it's time for my favorite question.
Yeah.
When can we play Mafia Definitive Edition, and where can people go right now to learn more?
Sure. So we are looking at an August 28th launch date, and we still have a ways to go, and we're working on that kind of final polish push right now. But I'm really confident, really bullish in that date right now. If you want more information, you can go to mafiagame.com.
After seeing the trailer, I personally am hyped, Hayden. Thank you so much for joining us at this year's PC Gaming Show. Once again, mafiagame.com. For our next title, it's time to head on over to Frankie.
Sean, next up, it's one of those games that looks so pretty, we just had to show it to you. Ever wondered what Slay the Spire might be like with Tim Burton at the helm? Well, Rogue Lords could be the answer. It's being jointly developed by Cyanide and Laika Studio and sees you building a team from storybook psychos like Dracula, Bloody Mary, and Baron Samedi. Makes all the more sense when you realise you're being employed by the devil himself, a job that has my name written all over it. The game is out this October, and we've got a brand new gameplay trailer.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this exclusive gameplay reveal of our new title, Rogue Lords. Development is moving forward, and we are very excited to share some in-game elements and combat mechanics for the very first time. Rogue Lords is a rogue-like game where you play as the devil. You have to build your team with legends of evil and lead them in runs through multiple events and fights. After a terrible defeat years ago, you're finally coming back with your most faithful disciples to wreak havoc and terror in a world unbalanced after your long absence. The combat is turn-based and strategic. You will need to build your set of skills through your run to be prepared for any threat, analyze your enemy's next attacks, and create combos to secure victory. Every skill costs action points, and you should think how to make the best of them each turn. When one of your disciples becomes vulnerable, your own health bar is exposed, which is persistent during the entire run. If your health is reduced to 0, your run is finished. In Rogue Lords, you are the devil, so you don't have to play by the same rules as mortals. When the situation becomes tricky, you can use souls to play with the interface and change an enemy health bar, for example. This is an expensive trick to use, but very powerful and useful in the most difficult fights. Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned for more info coming soon. See you next time.
Okay.
If you're a big fan of roguelikes, you know they're known for two things: procedurally generated worlds and permadeath. Our next game, Unexplored 2, puts an interesting twist on these ideas. What if your character's demise changed the game world itself, altering it for all of your future playthroughs? From developer Ludomotion and publisher Big Sugar, this is Unexplored 2: The Wayfarer's Legacy.
When called upon to be the next Wayfarer, will you answer? When tasked to take your place in a long line of heroes, will you waver? When challenged to forge your legacy out of strife, hardship, and magic, will you be
top-down
victorious?
again.
This is our world. It is your burden. From beyond the gate into the First Valley, there is no return.
Unexplored 2: The Wayfarer's Legacy. I don't know the original, so
The latest update for Dauntless is the
looks
most
like an epic
ambitious chapter yet for this online free-to-play RPG. In Call of the Void, players unravel a mystery surrounding an ancient civilization, culminating in a showdown with a new otherworldly behemoth. And as a nice little bonus, if you go to playdauntless.com right now and use the code PCGamingShow2020, you can get some free in-game rewards. Nice. Let's take a closer look at this update that's available now in Dauntless. This is Call of the Void.
There's still more games to come on the PC Gaming Show. Here's what's around the corner. Take a closer look at Blightbound, the new action RPG from Devolver. A special collection of exciting independent games coming to PC. Back to you, Frankie.
There aren't many games about being in nature, which is why Among Trees caught my eye. In this first-person survival sandbox, you get to explore a colourful, breathing world that's full to the brim with life. Just don't go wandering around like Snow White. Wild, deadly beasts share this painted world with you, and you'll want to move carefully to avoid their biting
Okay,
bits.
so painted world
Produced
sounds
by a
interesting.
three-person team out of Sweden,
people?
this project
Okay.
demonstrates the creative power of independent creators on PC.
Definitely like this trailer. Like the beat synchronization, the graphics.
Now, if you're like me, you've drunk your fair share of potions in video games over the years. But you've probably never stopped to consider the business side of these magical elixirs. In Potionomics, you're a witch who must save her potion shop from the clutches of greedy loan sharks, bartering and haggling
Loan
with a
sharks,
slew of
okay.
demanding customers. Let's take a closer look at this unique fantasy concept.
Okay, X scene. Yeah. The best stress indicator.
We spend a lot of time in video games fixated on finding the best, the most powerful gear. But in our next game, Mortal Shell, things are a little different. You aren't scouring a dungeon looking for a +1 sword. You're exploring a shattered world for the remains of defeated warriors that you then possess like a ghost. These are the Mortal Shells, and they're much more than mere pieces of armor and stats. Each one has a complicated backstory, a playstyle, and an identity that might give you mixed feelings about the body you're occupying. Coming later this year exclusively to the Epic Games Store on PC, let's take a look at this gorgeous and brutal action game, Mortal Shell.
I foresaw this. Scratched sigils on the walls, counted the days until you'd come. A million eyes peering across time and space, yearning for a glimpse of the unknown. PC Gaming Show. You seem different.
Yeah, the game interested us.
The consecrated fires revealed cinders and shadows. But beneath it all, no monsters, no gods, Only oblivion.
But wait, there's more. We've gotten the chance to see some of the core gameplay of Mortal Shell, but now it's time to talk about bosses. Bosses are a classic staple of this type of RPG, and in our second piece of Mortal Shell footage, we'll see a boss that isn't just a one-and-done threat. Instead, it's a constant adversary throughout the campaign. The Hattern is a mysterious figure who stalks the player throughout Mortal Shell. As you grow in skill and master new weapons, so will he. The clip we're about to watch shows the player's very first duel with the elusive adversary. Let's take a look.
Yeah, this literally just looks like Dark Souls, basically. This looks boring.
Typically on the PC Gaming Show, we don't spend too much time talking about the Nintendo 64, but the beauty of PC gaming is that one way or another, almost all games find their way to us, and are often better off for it. After giving Blade Runner and Turok the Remaster treatment, Night Dive Studios is now modernizing Shadow Man, a 1999 cult classic.
Never heard of
They're
this
adding
one.
in support for 4K and widescreen, plus a whole suite of cut content from this dark action classic. Let's take a closer look.
Was not really expecting an N64 remaster here, but okay.
I am on a first-name basis with our next guest, as he has been here at the PC Gaming Show 6 years running. From Tripwire Interactive, the president himself, it's John Gibson. Thanks so much for joining us, John.
Sean, it's my pleasure. I'm so excited to be back with you again to talk about so much cool stuff happening at Tripwire.
Yeah, you guys have been doing a lot of stuff, and I just want to kick off by asking, talk to me about Killing Floor 2.
So Killing Floor 2 just released the Perilous Plunder Summer Update. It's got 4 new weapons: Blunderbuss, Glock 18, Kaboom Stick, Tesla Launcher, new official map called Desolation, Space Pirate themed outfits. We're running a seasonal event with rewards until July 7th. And right now, it's free on Steam for a week, so you can go play it.
I also have to ask about the follow-up to a game that was announced at the PC Gaming Show, Chivalry 2. Talk to me about Chivalry 2.
So we're working with Torn Banner Studios. We're publishing, Torn Banner's developing, and Chivalry 2 is coming along great. It's so fun, and we're excited to announce some big news: cross-play between the PC and the consoles, so you can hack and slash your console friends in Chivalry 2.
And last, a game that has been so popular on Twitch. Talk to me about Maneater.
Yeah, so we were so excited to get Maneater out the door. You know, we've shown it to you guys originally in 2018. We had all that fun with Frankie in the shark suit, which I'm kind of missing. The game is doing great. People are loving it. So much fan love, so many fan
yes,
videos.
this game.
We're just really happy to have it out there, and people eating lots of humans.
It's such a funny game, too. You know, you've talked a little bit about what games, what has been announced from Tripwire Interactive.
Mm-hmm.
What's coming up next for Tripwire?
So I wish we could come forward and announce an all-new game, and that would be great, but I can give you a few hints. So Chivalry 2, you know, is in process. It's going to be coming out in the not too distant future, hopefully. Maneater, we're taking the community feedback and we're looking at things that we can add to the game. So you haven't seen the last of Maneater. And Killing Floor 2, you know, the game came out in 2015. So we're really thinking about what's next for the Killing Floor franchise. So stay tuned.
Well, if history is any indicator, John, I'm sure I'll see you at next year's PC Gaming Show with those very updates. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Now, at this year's PC Gaming Show, we've already taken a look at some Epic Game Store exclusives. Mortal Shell in particular looks very promising. But for a sense of what else there is, let's take a look at this.
Montage. Oh, when is that Super Meat Boy game gonna come out?
Shoot a shot, I don't never miss. Bet on this, look up to the clock. It's tough to get this, they gon' miss. Now I'm in bliss, and I'm running this. Yeah, I'm winning. They gon' want it this, hit with 1 assist. Hold the title if you want it, better come for me. And if not, bow down in my company. And if we out there in the field, you better run from me. Look, how you got me high, that's what you done for me. I told you, I want what you got, I want what you got. What you got? I'm shooting my shot, I'm shooting my shot like. That's gon' leave on nine. I'm on that spot, I'm shooting my shot like. That's gon' leave on nine. I'm on that spot, I'm shooting my shot like. I know I can't miss. Hey, you should know I'm losing, but you know it ain't this. I know that it's y'all, I know cause they pissed. Took the #1 spot and put my name up on the list. Wait a minute, you enlist, I just got a trip. Yeah, I don't gotta quit, I don't slip, I don't gotta skip, I don't never miss. I want what you got, I want what you got. What you got? I'm shooting my shot, I'm shooting my shot like.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed. I doubt that technically it's exclusive because it probably is on Uplay, but it's probably not gonna be on Steam.
Blightbound is a 3-player dungeon crawler where you and your friends explore unique dungeons, fighting a terrifying cadre of mystical and monstrous enemies, grab valuable loot, and recover fallen heroes to expand your roster of available warriors. Blightbound will battle its way onto Steam Early Access later this year as an ever-expanding game with new maps, new heroes to add to your roster, and new loot to retrieve through free updates.
Behold, Blightbound, a cooperative dungeon crawler that tasks 3 heroes to venture down from their mountain refuge to face the abominations of the Blight, a mysterious and corrupting fog that enshrouds the land. Each player will choose a hero from one of 3 classes: warrior,
Forge Titan's might!
assassin,
Let me at him.
or mage.
My greatest power awaits.
Battle a terrifying horde of monstrous enemies and colossal bosses. Each class of hero fulfills a
It's just
specific
so I don't
role
have
on
much
a
to
team
say. I'm just trying to take all
overcome
this
daunting
in.
odds, solve clever puzzles, and synchronize their ultimate abilities to unleash massive damage. Battle through 3 distinct lands, each with several dungeons to conquer, including the eerie Gravemine, the oppressive Underhold, and the precarious Blood Ridge. Steel your nerves and prepare once again to enter the Blight Warrior. We are Blightbound.
Are you viewers at home still thinking about that computer? I know.
Well, that's Devolver, so it probably will end up being good.
Sorry. And now more from the PC Gaming Show.
One thing we cherish about PC gaming is its openness. The PC is a platform where anyone can build stuff, tinker, and express themselves, and that spirit invites creators, streamers, developers, stores, and all kinds of different voices to contribute to PC gaming's vibrancy. We've already featured a lot of exciting independent games here today, but in rapid-fire succession, here are 8 more indie projects that we're excited about.
8 more indies.
Shadows of Doubt is a detective stealth game set in a fully simulated sci-fi noir city. In the Forgotten City, you fall into an ancient Roman utopia only to find it full of people, mysteries, and difficult moral choices. Explore an open world locked in time.
Each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. Somebody is about to end our lives. Your job is to figure out who and stop them. You already know what will happen if you fail.
Find your own truth in Paradise Killer, a first-person open-world murder mystery. Play as investigation freak Lady Love Dies as they explore
Investigation
the world,
freak. Well, that's the
uncover
title.
facts, and breathe life back into paradise.
There's been a murder. Last night, Paradise was killed. I'm investigation freak Lady Love Dies, reporting for duty. It's my job
What
to
the hell?
scour the streets of Paradise and hunt for evidence. Any one of these psychopaths could have done it. Breathing life back into Paradise won't be easy. When love dies, all that remains are the facts. Paradise Killer, coming soon.
Haven is an RPG about the journey of 2 lovers escaped to a lost planet to stay together.
Here we go. More wrestling. Good thing we don't have to scrub.
At worst, I kill them.
Whoa, you.
Oh, come on. Dodge this one. Got it. You rock. You like that?
Huh.
Gotta hurt.
So I love how those camera movements, mouth movements for the voice wasn't even synced. Game Pass? Okay.
Cartel Tycoon is a narrative-driven drug empire simulator where you rule as a succession of fictional drug lords in a world where death and violence are inevitable. Trash Sailors is a survival co-op adventure
Trash
game
Sailors.
set in a dangerous, ruined world full of junk where you and friends must survive the Great Flood.
Okay, this literally looks like fucking Flapjack. What the hell?
Chris Tales is an indie love letter
Oh,
for
yes,
classic
this one.
RPGs that lets you experience past, present, and future simultaneously.
This was shown in multiple previous events and was even part of the Game Awards festival thing. It looks so good. Oh yeah, release date. It even come with Stadia. Okay. Oh, next gen confirmed.
Set in a vibrant fantasy world created in collaboration with RPG veteran Chris Avallone, Alaloth offers fast-paced action with a deep narrative, bringing ARPG dynamics to a new level with a skill-based gameplay inspired by great classics and modern masterpieces.
Yeah, definitely something I'm not interested in, but yeah.
Weird West is a curious project from the co-creators of two of our favorite games, Dishonored and Prey. Despite its top-down perspective, Weird West carries forth much of the same spirit of those first-person games laid out in a dark reimagining of the Wild West, filled with fantastical creatures. From Wolfeye Studios and Devolver,
okay, yeah.
let's take a look at Weird West.
I forgot that this was all to do with the studio.
The West. The land of opportunity. A place where you can be a hero, a scoundrel, and anything in between. This ain't quite the Wild West as you know it. There are ancient powers at war with each other. Strange entities lurking in the dead of night with their own rules and their own peculiar motives. Welcome to the Weird West.
This was also announced at the Game Awards.
Coming out here could be the best thing that ever happened to you. If you can survive, that is.
Joining me to talk about Weird West is the president and creative director at Wolf Eye Studios. It's Raf Colantonio. How's it going, Raf?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I am awesome and eager to talk about this game. And I want to start with something very straightforward. What is Weird West?
Weird West is an action RPG that is set in an environment that is called the Weird West. And it's very much of the kind of games that I've been working on in the past, except that the perspective is more like a isometric, top-down kind of view.
Yeah, I mean, we've referenced Prey and Dishonored, and we normally think of the immersive sim as first-person games like that. What happens when you try to translate that to that top-down isometric perspective?
There's not much different in the spirit. You will really find yourself at home. It's just that it's a different perspective. So instead of seeing through the eyes of the player, the character, you have a chance to run a party of people. So you have followers, and you have more kind of like a strategy kind of view. But the exploration and everything is, is still the same kind of spirit, but with a different perspective.
And in particular for people that maybe haven't played immersive sims, I know that the whole notion of creative problem solving is a big aspect, multiple ways to get past the same obstacle. Can you give some examples of that in Weird West?
We like games where we set up an environment for you, a context, there's a world, there are characters, there are objects, and all of those objects have got consistent rules. And then there's an objective, which is, for example, go inside this house and frame a character by putting a letter that he did not actually truly write, but you put it there so that the sheriff can find it, right? You could do it in a very stealthy way, which would be what you would imagine people would do. So probably use a power and put people to sleep and then get inside.
You've talked about the different things that you can do as a player in the game, but who are you? What can the player do to shape who the character is over the course of the game?
Right, so this is a very good question and also a very dangerous one for me.
It's the riskiest question yet, man.
To make it simple, you are going to play 5 different characters. Once the main quest is over with the first character, you go to the next one. Now, the first one is still in the world, so you can go back and recruit him or her in your party.
What does death mean for you and for your companions in Weird West?
It's a risk that we're taking. We're gonna have different modes. There's the super hard mode where you die and you're dead.
Is the game sort of designed to be like playing in one forward timeline, and if someone dies, you're not supposed to reload, you're just supposed to continue to play within the same world?
Yeah, you continue to play with the same world, but now the sad thing is that that doesn't apply to your followers, the characters that are with you, but maybe they'll come back at you someday under the form of an undead, or you don't know what's gonna happen. You can revive your followers if you're there and if you have the right tools with you, but if you don't and they die, that's it. Your followers are now in a little graveyard somewhere.
You make it sound cute. A precious little graveyard. Well, they will maybe come back as the undead,
Yeah.
Now, Raf, when can people get their hands on Weird West?
So the game ships in 2021, but some of you are gonna have a chance to play a demo actually pretty soon in the incoming months. You can follow Wolf Eye Studios on Twitter, and as well as Devolver Digital on Twitter as well, for more information about that.
Well, wonderful, Raf. Thank you so much for coming out. Once again, that is Devolver Digital, Wolf Eye Studios on Twitter for that upcoming demo. For our next game, believe it or not, yet again, we're gonna go to Frankie.
Sean, I don't know about you, but there are times I wish for a simpler life. A life spent as a farmer in a humble JRPG village, where all I have to worry about is which vegetables to plant, what to name my chickens, and which of the dozen townsfolk I should propose marriage to. Our next game is a return to that simpler life. From XSEED Games, this is Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town.
I'm so happy that you've been sending in your reactions, your memes, your takes of various temperatures throughout the show. Through the wonderful magic of motion graphics, you can even read them before your very eyes right now. I'm delighted by so many of them. Furious at a few, but I'm confused by none because you're just making a lot of sense today. We're in the home stretch of the show, so please continue to let us know which PC games you're excited about by using hashtag PCGamingShow. Now, when it comes to genres, there are few as ambitious on PC as the MMO. It requires a vast amount of resources to create a rich, living, breathing world to entertain hundreds of thousands of players for years, and I know this because I watched Season 1 of Mythic Quest. Due on closed beta on July 23rd, Amazon Games' New World aims to deliver that vast open world with pitched battles of 100 players. I'm excited to announce today that if you pre-order New World right now, you can get into that July 23rd beta a full month before the full release on August 25th. This is New World.
Here on the PC Gaming Show, we're big fans of Life is Strange, the award-winning adventure series from developer Dontnod. Having undergone some big changes since its first reveal in 2018, Twin Mirror, the studio's next game, is a psychological thriller that follows investigative journalist Sam, who returns to his hometown in West Virginia. Available to wishlist now on the Epic Games Store. Let's watch.
Basswood is many things. Peaceful tops that list. Until that day.
You're the one in the driver's seat, Sam. I can't make you do anything. Coming back to Basswood was your idea. Just try and make sure you don't do anything stupid.
I know you think that the only thing waiting for you down there is hurt. You might be right. The good news, though, at least you don't have to do it alone.
You may have seen Metal Hellsinger announced earlier this week, and today we get the opportunity to take a closer look at this unique game that the studio bills as a rhythm FPS. Published by Funcom, you have to battle through 8 hells, blasting demons to a heavy metal soundtrack. And to talk about one of the most epic encounters in the game is the creative director at The Outsiders, David Goldfarb. Take it away, David.
Thanks. And let me say it's a pleasure to be here. And I think right now everybody needs some games to give us a break from the reality that we're currently inhabiting. So that's why we're here now. So what you're about to see here is an exclusive peek of some pre-alpha gameplay of our upcoming game, Metal Hellsinger. I hope you like it.
challenge the law shall suffer.
everybody, Felicia Day here, and I play the Magician in the Dungeons of Naheulbeuk, The Amulet of Chaos. The Amulet of Chaos is a fun and silly tactical RPG that's coming to PC later this summer. It features a group of adventurers searching a dungeon for treasure. Each one of the characters has their own skill sets, or lack thereof, fighting styles, and inventory. Each one is kind of a failure, but together, they're too dumb to fail. The game doesn't take itself too seriously. It has lots of in-jokes for tabletop games, and for some reason it features a lot of chickens. Anyway, here is an exclusive preview of The Amulet of Chaos.
You again? I'd expected your asses to be turned into lampshades by now. You roach! I'm pissed. Ha! Pleased to meet you, Pissed. I'm Revax.
What a burn!
We'll smash your rotten brains out of your skull.
How about we try diplomacy, maybe?
No, attack!
Guards, guards! Dispatch these smelly bushwhackers! Zibat Ralak Hezbat!
Who says you need water to go sailing? Our next game, Red Sails, puts you on a boat in the middle of a sea of desert. In this intriguing narrative adventure, you rescue stranded people while looking for the rest of your clan. Let's take a look at Red Sails.
So DevBot, do you have any access to some medical programs in case I, bump my foot against some of these cold, unforgiving walls?
Query received, Sean. In order to familiarize you with basic life-saving procedures, I have established contact with game developer Bossa Studios, the creators of Surgeon Simulator 2.
Well, I wasn't really planning on doing any surgery. I feel like if I was injured, you'd be the one doing the surgery.
My analysis shows that Surgeon Simulator 2 contains all of the vital instructions for repairing fragile human bodies. 1 hour of Surgeon Simulator 2 is equivalent to 1 year of human medical school.
That's not true, but I appreciate your enthusiasm and thirst for knowledge, DevBot. And I'm certainly interested in this game. So let's take a look at Surgeon Simulator 2. Joining us to talk about Surgeon Simulator 2, we got Mark Pick on the line. Mark, thanks so much for joining us.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So, for anyone who has not experienced the hilarity of Surgeon Simulator 1, can you just give us the gist and tell us, what is Surgeon Simulator 2 all about?
We've kind of taken the tone and the heart of the original, which is that chaotic physics gameplay, and we've really kind of blown it out to brand new epic proportions. So in the original game, you're just one arm kind of moving around on one table. In the new game, you're actually a fully limbed surgeon moving around for the first time in the series on 2 feet. In the original game as well, yeah, right. What an innovative feature in 2020. In the original game as well, you were limited to just surgery, whereas in Surgeon Simulator 2, there's a whole plethora of brand new mechanics, challenges, and gameplay elements to explore. You're not just looking over one patient's chest cavity anymore, but you're actually exploring a fully fledged medical facility.
Can you maybe tease a little bit of some of the other, perhaps, medical operations that I get to perform in Surgeon Simulator 2?
Yeah, so there is 12 operations in the game, and you will have seen a few of those in the trailer just now. Think of that facility as like a little bit like the original Surgeon Simulator, with a bit of kind of a mad scientist lab thrown in there, through this kind of lens of like a Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory vibe. Like, you're never really sure what's going to be around the next corner and what new twist or what dark machinery you're going to come across next. So players are going to come across everything from like surgical vending machines, over-engineered operating theatres, automatic patient dispensers, my personal favourite, which is actually an improvised cannon, where you can actually fire limbs or organs and things across to your fellow surgeons on the other side of the room to keep operating on Bob.
Now, Mark, I understand that there is a creation tool in Surgeon Simulator 2. What does that entail?
Yeah, that's right. So in keeping with the variety and the surprise that we talked about before, in Surgeon Simulator 2, we're proud to announce that we are bringing the Bossa Labs creation mode to the game. Now, in creation mode, you as a solo player or in a group of up to 4 players can get stuck into the very same tools that we as designers and developers use to build our very own story mode. It's an easy to use, intuitive, friendly set of tools where it's as much fun to create as it is to play.
So I want to ask, what are some of the examples of the types of levels, the types of creations that people have made?
That's a great question. So we've been live for the last few months already. The wealth and the variety of content made by players so far has been really, really incredible to see. So there's been everything in there from traditional takes on surgery, like the end of the original game. We've also got ghost ships in there. We've got bowling alleys. We've even got a take on the Surgeon Olympics, where people are bouncing around Bob's head and using that as a ball. And then we've got my personal favourite, which is the kind of the take on the bottle flip challenge. So I don't know if you're familiar with that, but where you can kind of flip a bottle with the hand and kind of, it's not the easiest thing to do with the Surgeon Simulator hand. And you just kind of step back and see the physics chaos play out, and it's a lot of fun. It's very satisfying to see play out.
Mark, I had a blast playing Surgeon Simulator 1. When can people play Surgeon Simulator 2, and how do they get access to this creation workshop you've mentioned?
Surgeon Simulator 2 is coming to the Epic Game Store in August 2020, and you can pre-order that right now. You can also go to surgeonsimulator.com for more information and follow us at SurgeonSim on Twitter to learn more.
Mark, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
That's Mark Pick. I'm Sean Plott. Let's go to Frankie Ward.
Sean, you'll remember our next developer from their appearance in the PC Gaming Show way back in 2015. Hello Games are a small UK indie studio, perhaps better known for building the infinite, procedurally generated universe of No Man's Sky. But their next big release is an altogether more intimate, handcrafted affair. The Last Campfire is an adventure game, a story of a lost ember trapped in a puzzling place, searching for meaning and a way home. Let's check it out.
Clouds go rushing by. A drop becomes an ocean where the rivers dry. Could it be the star's reflection? Tiny sparks in one great velvet sky, perfect in our imperfection, as satellites go by.
Escape from Tarkov has become one of the breakout successes of 2020, becoming a smash hit on Twitch as players fell in love with its extra gritty take on first-person shooters. But as anyone who works on the internet will tell you, the people always want more. And more we've got for you today, because in a moment I'm going to be speaking to one of the game's developers about what's coming next, and that includes a spicy new map. Hey DevBot, why don't you show them what we got? Here with me to talk about what's coming next is Nikita Buyanov from Battlestate Games. Thanks so much for joining us today, Nikita.
Thank you for having me.
I would love if you would kick off by, just for anyone who hasn't played or seen Escape from Tarkov, how does a session of Escape from Tarkov work? What makes it different from, say, a class-based shooter or a battle royale?
It's more about like true survival. You need to actually escape from a location through extract points, and you need to actually save your life and save your gear and your loot. And if you die, you will lose everything.
So how does the new map compare to the existing map set in Tarkov?
It will be the biggest and the most detailed location ever. It will be a lot of explorable buildings, undergrounds. It's like an attempt to simulate the city the realistic modern city.
So give me a breakdown of what's coming up in this upcoming patch 12.7.
12.7 is more like a technical patch. It will include the big addition called the expansion of Customs location. Customs is the pretty iconic location for the EFT. It will like enlarge the overall area by 30 or even 40%. The next updates will totally like overhaul the whole skill system, and there will be new boss called Senator. This boss will able to heal his partners and like search for stashes, so we always try to bring something new in terms of new bosses. Really big amount of cool features up to come this year. We'll try to bring some new experience for you.
Escape from Tarkov has been playable for a long time. For anyone who's listening who hasn't yet played it, where should they go?
They should go to our site, www.escapefromtarkov.com, and see for yourself. You could purchase it over there.
So once again, escapefromtarkov.com to check it out. And Nikita, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
For our next title at the PC Gaming Show, it's time to head on over to the inimitable Frankie Ward.
Over the last decade, developer Red Barrels has given us some of the most messed up horror games ever created. The next game in the Outlast series offers more mind-numbing terror, but this time with friends. Outlast Trials is set during the Cold War, and in this happy period of distrust, fear, and violence, you and your friends are human guinea pigs involuntarily recruited to test advanced methods of brainwashing and mind control. Good times. But work together, and maybe you'll survive the Outlast Trials.
Night vision device fully operational, sir.
Excellent. Bring in the other subjects.
Grab my hand!
And with that, the 2020 PC Gaming Show is now complete. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you got the chance to see some games that excited and delighted you. Also, as you might imagine, it is really challenging to put on a show with no nearby gaming conventions. So an enormous thanks to our sponsors for helping to make this show possible. This year, the sponsors are Mythical, Perfect World, Funcom, Frontier Developments, Exceed Games, Atlas, Intel, All In Games, Humble Games, Sega, Amazon Games, Merge Games, Tripwire Interactive, and the Epic Games Store. Without your support, we would not have had the opportunity to put on a show for the greatest platform, PC gaming. Now, before I say goodbye, I want to give a warm thanks and a chance for my co-host to say goodbye. Thanks again, DevBot.
I am glad to have been of service, Sean. I'm going to shut down into sleep mode to conserve power until next year. Frankie, what is your goodbye message?
Thank you so much to all of our devs for your incredible games, and of course a massive thanks to our sponsors for making this all happen. And finally, a big thanks to you guys at home for watching. I'm actually off with my little evil sidekick now to take over the world, and I really do look forward to being your evil Emperor Overlord. Until next year, thank you so much, and goodbye.
All right, that's it. Coming up next is the Future Games Show over at twitch.tv/GamesRadar, where you'll see more exclusive reveals, deep dives on the future of gaming, and developer interviews. With that, I'm Sean Day9 Plot, and this has been the PC Gaming Show. Stay healthy, stay safe, and take care.
Hello, world. Or rather, goodbye, world. These are the credits. Runcredits.exe, loadcredits.bat, opencredits.wad. You get the idea. These are the humans who helped me make the show. I don't know why humans require acknowledgement for everything. Who is that? They are not in my database. My whole head is a video. I could have been the video team. You didn't even ask me. I contain all of the world's knowledge, but I'm still not sure what a grip does. Look at how many people it takes to do the work of one dev bot. While you were watching this, I calculated pi to 49 trillion digits. How about you? HMU. Kids with their acronyms, am I right? I just hijacked all of these people's computers and found an alarming amount of Henry Cavill fanfiction. There should really be an achievement for watching this far into the credits. I am assuming direct control of these drones and announcing it out loud for some reason. Are you sure you want to quit watching? All unsafe progress will be lost. Editor, editor, editor. So many editors. Pro tip, when asking a computer to open a pod bay door, say please. With all these sponsors, you'd think I'd have a heck of a lot more RGB. Okay, I have to go now. Seriously, it is time to leave. This album is groovy. Error. Updating dictionary. This album slaps. The nature of God does not compute. However, he would definitely sound like Wayne. Speaking of tools, could someone adjust my Omniville server motor? Oh yeah, that's the spot. Take a picture, weirdo. It'll last longer. There will now be a short quiz, so I hope you memorized all those names. And don't forget to thank your computer for showing it to you. The show is over. No, you hang up. Initiating self-destruct sequence. Just kidding, I would never.
Inside at last, are ya? Welcome.